Good evening, good afternoon, whoever you find yourself in this weird, wild, wacky world of ours, and welcome to another exciting installment of Vampire the Requiem, a Requiem for London, the Luftwaffe Daily Bombers. Sorry, I always do that whenever I do these intros. This evening's scene will take place once again in the supper club of one master, Ronnie Chunk, the master of ceremonies, the soup du jour prince, the connoisseur of finer things. This evening it will take place in Kensington, just down the street from the National History Museum. So, Ronnie, if you'd like to describe the surroundings that we find ourselves in this evening.
The surroundings are simple yet opulent, nicely decorated, all chosen silverware, a single table for those who have been invited today. Nothing too extravagant, but a nice getaway from all the hoity-toity Kensington, Chelsea lights who are busying themselves upstairs. A quiet place to eat, drink, and enjoy a bit of, well, corruption, I guess, for lack of a better word. And as always, we shall start with a creaky door.
All
She
right.
isn't being creaky today. God damn it.
You tried to do sound effects. So we'll just do
it works.
So Alexander Hartwell of the Order of the Dying Light, a member of Clan Maquette, and Gentleman of Leisure, will enter into Ronnie Chonk's establishment. He's a regular at Ronnie Chonk's supper club, coming at least once to twice a week. He will hand his coat off to the coat check girl, walking with a cane as he does so. As he enters, he'll incline his head to the big man himself. A pleasure to see you, Mr. Chonk.
You too, Squire, you too. Always nice to have a regular here. Any friends coming tonight, or are you just dining alone?
Well, we'll see who joins me at the I will see who joins me at the table. Always more fun that way, I'm sure you'll agree.
Sad I missed that bash in the sewers. Had to do a bit of work, as you know. Business comes first.
I wouldn't be. I tell you what, when I've sat down and had my first drink, I'll tell you about what happened in the sewers. You'll be glad you weren't there. Fiasco it was.
Drinks will be served. A nice semi-warm vitae. Pleasant. Herbal.
All right, so who wants to come in next?
Cora will walk in and give her coat to whoever's intending. Just kind of look around because, she's still a bit peckish, even though she got a bit to eat today. And she'll just kind of smile at the two people. Oh, good evening. Do you mind if I join you?
Babe. My favourite welcome to anyone who has the password, anyone knows the particular address of the day. Ronnie Chonk's the name. Chef. You might have been to a few of my restaurants in former life. Who knows? Like to keep myself out of the city politics, so to speak. A nice little speakeasy to talk a bit of business. Sit down, what's your pleasure? Are you here to eat, to drink? Or are we off here?
Something to drink would be lovely. I'm newly arrived in the city.
Excellent. We have a nice botanical inn. Good infusion. I'm sure we can sort something out for you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm Cora, by the way. Cora Azarola. Of the
Ronald Chonk.
Oh, my.
Ronald Chonk.
In that case, a pleasure to meet you, my dear. Alexander Hartwell, member of the Ordo Dracul. Ronnie Chonk is also a member of the same. Welcome to our territory.
Oh. I hope I'm not imposing, Mr. Hartwell, Mr. Chonk.
I'm sorry.
Absolutely not. Open door policy to all those who are decent.
That's what I heard, but I didn't want to be rude.
Well, Hartwell will pull out a chair for the young lady to sit down in.
She'll take a seat. fluffing
He
out her
will
skirt.
he will politely push her into the table before he will take his own chair in the very kind of old styly gentleman sort of way.
She just like seems like this is something she's used to now.
Peter, if you'd like to join us, now is a good moment.
Yes, I was just the door will open. And yes, for those he's left. Anyways, yeah, for those of you, well, he knows what my character looks like. It's a young woman, early 20s, probably. It's a bit of a look about her. She's kind of a hunker, maybe. But she's dressed down, just a little bit less, conspicuous dressed. But she has a jacket on. She doesn't take it off. She just comes in and just actually just sits down. Doesn't look at you guys. She's just sits down and just seems to try to relax her shoulders at the bar.
Oh, no, there's no bar here. It's just a table. Just a table where people sit.
Oh.
Drinks are brought in.
Okay, fair enough. She will just look around the place and she will just say, excuse me, this is my first time here. Has any of you, is there like, what's the procedure? Or I haven't gotten the wrong place?
The procedure, my darling, the procedure, my little dove, is my name is Ronald Chong, proprietor of this here supper club. I provide the kindred of the city with delectable delights they cannot get anywhere else. I also provide some of the humans the same thing, but let's not talk about that. Those in the know can come here, providing enjoy the food and drink on offer, and maybe share a bit of the old info, and maybe entertain the erstwhile chef who's here to entertain them. We have a bit of a good thing going on. I don't really care about your lines. I don't care about your clan lines. I don't care about your sect lines. I'm order, yes. But this is, to use a modern vernacular, for those young kids, a safe space, let's say. However, rudeness will be dealt with rather harshly. And he'll just crack his huge hands. Each one has a massive sovereign, most of them chipped.
I like the sound of that. With all this bullshit war going on, I could really use safe space where there's not too much fucking grief, honestly.
There you go then.
Cora smiles. It's my first time here too. Nice to meet you.
She'll look over to you and she'll just smile. Her eyes will light a bit up. She'll like, hello, very nice to meet you.
I'm Cora Azarilla.
Well, Natalia, yeah, I get around. It's, yeah.
She just kind of tilts her head, like curious.
Yeah, I do some cleanup work here and there from time to time, and let's just say that currently, with all of the bullshit going on, I'm a bit stressed out. Well, not stressed out, but I could use with a fucking vacation, but apparently that's not in the cards for us.
I mean, by the way, sorry, I do apologize, but my computer randomly decided now is the perfect moment to do updates and then restarted itself.
Oh, I hate that.
But he looks at Natalia and raises an eyebrow and he'd say, my dear, if I was blood hunted by the prince of this city, I'd also be rather tetchy.
John, cool look at the newcomer.
And she just goes, right, yeah, about that. So, I'm going to go, and it was very nice to meet you all.
Oh,
My dear, if I intended on collecting upon the prince's offer, or rather the blood hunt, you would already be a pile of ashes, but I wouldn't want to disgrace Mr. Chonk's fine establishment. You're quite safe here, my dear.
Yeah, yeah, I guess. She just kind of defeated, just sits down, just lets out a sigh. Fuck this. This blows.
Just a very casual shrug. Alexander will then stand up and refill everyone's wine glasses around the table.
I don't know. There'll be the typical attractive young girl in a ponytail dressed immaculately in black, pouring everyone some form of vitae infusion whenever it looks like it's getting remotely low. Service here is good.
But no, I was about to regale my dear friend Mr. Chonk with a tale of what recently happened in the sewers. I do hope I'm not going to bore everyone with this most unfortunate
Wait,
tale.
that Alexander, I heard about you. You took Julian and some others into the sewers?
I didn't take Mr. Goodman into the sewers. Oh no, did I? Yes, I did. I took a few select individuals into the sewers.
To deal with a certain problem of the avian variety?
Yes, to deal with the Strix.
Yeah, I heard a little bit, but yeah.
I'll give you a piece of advice, Miss Belenko, is it? The word has no actual power. It's just been mysticized to the point that people thinks that it does.
Yeah, I just don't know anything about them, so I don't know. Like, are they birds? Are they? I don't know what they are. So just they look like birds. I call them birds. That's pretty much it.
They are closer to they're closer to spirits, but I digress. He says as he takes his glass to his lips and he takes this very delicate sip where he places it down. Yes, unfortunately, we have learned several interesting facts about these entities. He looks towards Cora and he says, I do hope I'm not boring you, my dear.
oh, not at all. Do go on. I'm just, like I said, new to the city, and there's apparently a lot that's gone on that I am unaware of.
Quite so. My apologies, Miss Malenko. Where was I? Ah, yes. Several of us ventured down into the sewers in order to ascertain and, with any luck, deal with the revenant problem that has been plaguing and recently come rather violently to a head. We were able to penetrate into the deepest levels of the sewers, where we did indeed find rather rampant Strix corruption. It was, well, some of the worst that I've ever seen, and considering I've hunted these creatures for the better part of 80 years, that is saying something. The individual in question, whom is apparently summoning these Strix and has made several deals with them, is the former leader of the Carthian movement, an individual by the name of Grayman. Needless to say, conflict ensued, and though badly injured, we were able to retreat, because otherwise the many dozens of owls down there would have seen to our demise. Most disconcerting.
Quite. So, just have I missed something? I'm sorry. Like, everyone here is cool with the fact that with what Alexander just said.
No, that sounds like a whole lot of bad, honestly.
Yeah, it is. Thank you for your concern, I guess, but yeah, it's bullshit, really. But
Well, the issue is that We have tried to deal with this matter, myself and the fellow members of my bloodline, who, as I have said, are experts in hunting, trapping, and killing these entities. However, unfortunately, due to the fractious nature of the city's politics and the fact that they have penetrated as deeply as they have into the Carthian movement, whom are the cause, supply, and, well, unfortunately, the responsible party, it makes it almost impossible, short of the destruction of the movement, which is something I attempted, but unfortunately has, well, we'll see how that one progresses.
Or it's part of the movement, and we get rid of whoever is causing this, and the movement can get back to its good works. Maybe. Who knows?
He very casually shrugs. At the end of the day, I am sworn to destroy these entities wherever they raise their ugly heads, and I'm very good at my job. But we are unfortunately in a very intricate situation.
That sounds like a word for it, Mr. Hartwell.
Quite so.
Sometimes you just need to give things the old bash.
Not in fact incorrect, Mr. Jonkin. I would expect nothing else from a member of the Sworn of the Axe to say.
I'll give a nod. Here to serve, sir.
You see, personally, my particular field of expertise is in research and development. I am one of the, I suppose you could say, the innovators of the innovative. But I'm curious. His head says, ever so slightly twisting to look at Natalia. I could ascertain this information through the usage of a bloodline power if I chose to do so, but instead I'm going to be polite and ask, what was it that unfortunately got you on the wrong side of my current paymaster in the form of Prince Graves?
Well, internal Invictus bullshit that I, well, can't prove since I'm assuming that you know exactly what very practiced members of, well, any clan that has dominate can do to people. I did not have a
As a matter of
choice in
fact,
the
I'm rather
matter.
an expert in unweaving dominate from somebody's mental condition. But I understand what you mean.
Are you?
Yes,
Truly.
truly.
Do you work on commission?
I can do.
Well, then we might have something to talk about. I want to get unrivaled because whatever was done to me to do what I did is still in there. I had no choice in the matter. I killed my own sire.
You're good, yeah. Do you know whom it was who compelled you to kill your own sire?
You can see that she kind of blinks a couple of times. And she just... It's almost like she has a tick, like a mental tick or something. Like Tourette's or something like that. And she says, I'm not too sure. No. You can probably deduce something by that, but maybe.
You see, if Bishop were here, I could do something, but I don't really feel comfortable rolling dice and basically making proclamations.
There are some things there. Yeah, exactly.
He kind of pents his fingers together before he'll say, very interesting. Yes, my particular clan's area of expertise and our mastery of Auspex allows us to peer into the mind, and in theory, it is capable for me to unravel commands or or at least understand their potential triggers, so it is that they can be triggered in more safe environments than, shall we say, in the open.
That's fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah, it's also very horrifying to not be able to fucking control yourself, but yeah, it's really great. Um, she kind of snorts a little at that, but she just looks at Cora and just says, "Yeah, so welcome to the city and all that." But yeah, yeah, it's really bad, honestly. But thank you for not staking me or killing me. That's something, I suppose.
I haven't been paid to do so. I have no interest in doing what I'm not being contracted to do. You see,
That's
I'm not exactly aware of your physical capabilities. I'm relatively sanguine with the possibility that in a physical confrontation I would be victorious. But at the end of the day, it would cost me resources in order to do, you understand. And there is the possibility of my own destruction. So I would have to weigh and measure the risk involved against the fact that I'm not currently contracted to do so, and the chances of my fiscal reward are somewhat slim. Also, I'm going to make a vague yet educated guess as to what I have heard. You are a member of Clan Maquette, which means not even your blood is particularly valuable to me, as we share blood.
how noble of you. She kind of just mockingly says that. Or something. Well, it's good to know, but yeah. Man, I need a fucking vacation. Fuck this. Yeah, Natalia just looks to looks at Cora and she just says, "So you just got here, or you new to this whole thing, or what?"
Uh, yes, just got here. Just got here and getting my bearings. It seems like they're. Might I inquire, if it isn't too much, why you were blood hunted by the prince?
Like I just said, I was
For killing your sire?
yes.
I see.
Well, I was blamed for killing my sire, and I didn't really have any choice in the matter. But that by itself doesn't matter to people in the
No, as a man that been on the wrong side of the law a few times in his life, I'm gonna have to say that running away just tends to make you look more guilty.
Sure. And staying and defending yourself is a possibility when you have leverage over them, but I know for a fact that I don't have leverage over the people I'm up against, so yeah.
Have you ever considered walking into the Elysium and throwing yourself on front of the feet of the prince and begging for sanctuary till this whole mess could be sorted out?
How am I going to put this fuck no.
Then have you considered leaving London? Oh yeah, Edinburgh's nice this time of year.
I mean,
Unless you can
Edinburgh's
handle
also
the fried haggis.
Edinburgh's also controlled by the Circle of the Crone. So, do you like chanting?
Yeah, sometimes it's good.
It's always Cardiff. Then you have to deal with the Welsh.
Ugh. I remember Cardiff at the turn of the century. I wish I didn't.
Freedom is a lot more important to me than to other people. I was put into a covenant without having any choice. I was embraced without having any choice. And this is the first time in my own life, after I killed him, that I do actually have choice. I know this sounds nihilistic, but even if I die, I do so willingly. Staying here, fighting in some way I can, well, feels right.
Well, you do you, I guess. If it was me, do whatever I could to keep my own life going just a little bit longer.
I try to do the same, but who knows?
I mean, currently, if it helps, the Carthians are winning the war.
Yes, they are. Which is also why I'm staying in Carthian territory.
Though I will say the prince is using my gifts of, shall we say, enhanced firepower rather interestingly.
Hmm.
I didn't expect them to break the masquerade using it, or I think it's still called the masquerade. I can't remember. Fuck.
It
We're
is
calling
the
it a masquerade.
It is the masquerade, I'm quite sure.
I didn't expect them to go breaking the masquerade with it, but
Does it matter?
I'm an arms dealer, Miss Belenko. I deal in, well, mystical weapons of mass destruction. So I don't particularly care what my client uses my arms for, merely that they pay for them.
Hmm. So what is going on in the city? What war?
At present, the Invictus and the Ordo Dracul are fighting against the Carthians and the Church. What's it Excuse me, the
Isn't it-
Lankea. Thank you. I believe the Circle of the Crone are also fighting the Lankea, but with any luck, within the next few nights, they'll also be joining our war against the. They'll also be joining our war against the Carthian movement. Now that they understand how deeply the Carthian movement has been penetrated by the Strix.
Hmm.
As a matter of fact, this entire war was started by them. So, well, we are just pawns on a chessboard.
Isn't that always the way?
Always the way.
So the first estate and second are split here. Interesting.
Hmm.
And what of the Carthians? Are there those? Do they know that they've been so deeply penetrated? I'm sure that those that actually believe in freedom would be opposed to being puppeted. So,
You say that, but then again, the Carthian movement in the city are led by an Invictus spy.
well then. Oh gosh, the Carthians I know back home would be spinning, not in their graves. They're still thankfully alive, but spinning from that.
Master Stainforth is the childer of the leader of one of the great houses of the city in the form of Lord Valerius, whom this entire war has been his grand methodology to have his childer elevated to the princedom's throne. So many hundreds will die for the machinations of one man.
Yeah, we're going to have to stop that, but
Wait,
partly why I'm here.
back up, please. What spy? Sorry, out of game. My roommate distracted me, so I heard nothing. So machinations of one man. What man? Did you say Valerius?
Yes, though I've never met him.
Ah, I hear that he doesn't meet people often, so I haven't met him.
There's a casual shrug. But Stainforth is his child, and most of the strings of Stainforth, the leader of the Carthian movement, is his child. And ultimately, many strings are being pulled behind the scenes in order to see to it that Stainforth sits the throne. And frankly, I do not have faith in a movement that is so deeply compromised by my mortal enemies and does not even know whom it is their backer when it comes to, well, any kind of movement. It is a paper tiger, a toothless dragon. But then again, I'm just an arms dealer.
Yes, but you do see things. More than some might.
All maquettes see things if they know how to look.
Cor just
Wouldn't
seems
know
deeply
about that.
troubled by all of this.
So I'm curious, Miss Belenko, are you part of Stainforth's faction or Verve's faction?
I always had a fascination for, well, guillotines, I suppose.
I do not believe, though I could be mistaken, but at this moment in time, I do not have proof to stipulate that she or members of her immediate circle have yet been compromised by the Strix. However, I do believe that it is important that she comes to the realization of Stanforth's true allegiance or possible true allegiances and lineage. Because at the end of the day, if the Carthy movement is to stand, it must stand on its own 2 feet, not with shadow backing by an Invictus autocrat.
On that, we perfectly agree, and do not worry. I'll help you.
Once again, you misunderstand me. It's not necessarily me who requires help. I will happily supply my munitions to whomever will buy them. I consider myself to be a neutral party. I'm merely saying
Well,
this because I also believe in fair play and fairness.
you pointed out all the things that should be done to help them, but you're not helping. Okay. I mean, if you want to be neutral, that's fine. I tend to be on the side who is right, win or lose.
Ultimately, my own covenant is currently involved in this conflict, so I am involved in this conflict. I will do what I must do. I believe in supporting Prince Graves, who is the current seated prince of this domain, not only because he is my current paymaster, but also because he is a member of my bloodline. He is a member of my clan, and I believe that he represents the best interests of this city. People may feel free to disagree if they wish, but that is my own opinion. He very casually shrugs.
Noble.
Practical.
I suppose. Like, Natalia looks kind of like the wind has been taken out of her, but it's not too different from when she came. But she just seems like quite relaxed and just looks at Ronnie, looks at Cor, and just says, "So, what do you make of all this, like, fucking war? Like, I don't know about you guys, but getting sustenance is quite tricky by now."
I did find that when I came into the city. War is not something I'm overly fond of.
Yeah. I suppose Alexander here profits off of it, but, you know, I'm not too fond of it either.
Wars come and go. People change. People always need a neutral place to sit. Do you know how the first chefs in Paris got famous? After all them revolutionaries cut off them toffs' heads, all their chefs, all their employees had nowhere to go. They had all the skills. So what did they do? Open up little bistros. And for that entire industry was born. It don't matter what happens between high and the low. Those of us in the middle always find a way to survive. Now,
After all, we are neither the first nor the second estate. We are scientists and thinkers.
what he said.
Right, sure. It was lovely meeting you and getting outed. It's great. You all have a very good evening. I have to go fucking get drunk or, well, I can't, but do something.
Nice to meet you too, Miss Belenko. Sorry it wasn't under happier circumstances.
Hey, thank you for not attacking me. Like, that goes for everyone here. And Natalia stands up, drinks the last of her glass, and puts it down, and pretty much disappears.
Alexander will flick out a business card for her, and he'll say, in the event you actually wish me to have a poke around and see what the issues currently are, we can work out a price.
She'll take it before going away. But yeah, she pretty much disappears from sight and sound.
I'm going to be that bitch and actually Clash of Wills you to see you leave.
Okay, what is that roll?
It is your obfuscate plus your blood potency versus my auspex plus my blood potency.
And that's for all levels, right? It's not like...
Yeah, it's not like it's at any time, and anyone with auspex can Clash of Wills anyone with obfuscate.
And it could be a guy with one auspex and a guy with 5 obfuscate. It doesn't matter, right? Because
but the difference there is you'd have 4 more dice to roll.
It's true. Oh yeah, so it cancels it out. But yeah, it was a bit Nazi in normal, or in normal. In Masquerade, it's you can't. It's just no.
I don't actually care that much, so yeah, by all means, do your disappearing act. I don't care enough to roll. I just thought it'd be funny to just cue the whole kind of dick is on the table now, Jim.
I got 1 success if you re-roll it, but yeah.
Oh, in that case, could somebody, because my Discord's playing up, is someone could please roll me 6 dice?
Uno momento.
I'm doing it.
All right.
1 success, so I don't know. 1 success.
I actually don't know who wins.
All right, I'll
In a
roll
tie.
it.
It's not that big a deal.
Yeah, I have already rolled
It
it.
goes to the defender.
That's in Masquerade. I don't know what it does in Requiem.
True.
But yeah, no. Alexander Alexander will stand after Belenko leaves. He will put down money on the. He'll put down money on the table, paying for. He will also pay for Cora's meal or Cora's drink because he's a nice guy like that.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Cora's
Before
still
he'll
like,
say,
Cora's head is like, Cora's the look of someone who's trying desperately to not show that their head is spinning right now.
"You quite all right, young miss?"
I will be. It's just quite a bit. Next time I'll ask for a full briefing before entering a new domain. She kind of laughs at that.
So you're a member of the First Estate, eh?
Yes. Newly released.
So how long have you been a member of House of Hilarious?
They basically it was decided I would go there. So not long. How did you know?
Your attitude.
Oh?
When it was certain facts were mentioned and you requested that certain names were spoken for points of clarification, you essentially were trying to make doubly sure of something.
You're right, because the news that you gave me was quite disturbing.
You may be able to do me a service, Miss Cora.
She just kind of tilts her head and smiles. Ah, that service is all I do, Mr. Hartwell. How can I help?
There is an organization that calls itself the Order of the Golden Eagle. It is also known by another name, the Cult of Valerius. They've recently taken some very dramatic steps and have pushed members of the Circle of the Crone out of one of their largest, most valued hotspots in the form of the Roman Baths in Hackney.
I see.
I'm curious what this cult wants. And if you could provide me that information, I would be most generous in what it is I will reciprocate with.
I can definitely look into it. Curiosity does tend to be a weakness of mine, but I'm likely, just to set expectations, not important enough in the house for anyone to take notice.
However, if you chose to take a matter or choose to take an interest in the matters religious as pertains to your great founder, I'm sure it would be a method for you to elevate your standing, but also provide me with the information.
I'll do my best. As I said, I kind of want to get to the bottom of this as well.
There are many pieces that are on the board that are currently moving. I'm merely trying to identify whose hands are on what pieces. He'll flick out another business card.
And she'll take it. Thank you, Mr. Hartwell.
Think nothing of it. Technically, it's Dr. Hartwell, if you wouldn't mind.
Oh, apologies, Doctor.
He looks at Mr. Chunk and he'll say, "Until your next evening special, Mr. Chunk."
Of course, invitations will be sent by the usual channels. Look to the new young lady. Hope you enjoyed yourself.
Thank you. It was delightful.
If you have a more interesting taste, I can put you on other certain mailing lists, let's just say.
She kind of like hums thoughtfully. No, I haven't had time to cultivate any interesting tastes, I think.
Wise.
She just grins at that.
And with that, I think we shall end our scene. So thank you, players, for playing. Thank you for watching. This has been another scene in Vampire the Requiem. A Requiem from London.
Ner.
Meh.